My child, it's urgent to expose your special person's plans. On April 6 RD, they're planning to end every tie with. Archangel Michael says, my beloved child, hold your breath for a heartbeat because a curtain is lifting in the next 24 hours. A name is etched in the dust on your windowsill, and the wind is already tracing it with light. What could not be spoken yesterday will become a thunder that rolls through your room tonight. On April 6, a plan was set to end every tie with you, and it moved like a shadow that believed no one could see it. The footsteps were soft, the smiles were practiced, and the exit was drafted in secret. The silence that followed was meant to be your cage, but it will become your amplifier. This is viral news about you, and it spreads in whispers that sound like drums. People who never defended you will feel their tongues grow warm with your name. The city will look different because your eyes will look different, and the next day will fit you like new armor. Your special person folded a goodbye into their calendar and thought the ink would never run. They rehearsed a speech with pauses placed perfectly to make the hurt land clean. They did not know a higher pen would reroute the script and bend the scene toward you. Type Amen 333 to seal this blessing and claim your protection now. In the next 24 hours, a message will arrive and it will not tremble. The words will feel heavier than usual, as if they carried a river across a desert to reach you. You will sense the weight and you will stand straighter without even trying. The timing favors you, and the corridor that once squeezed your ribs now expands with every step you take. A call that once went unanswered will light up your screen and reveal more than casual talk. You will hear the difference because truth has a sound that never clatters. Comment I rise now so this shift anchors in your timeline. On April 6, they believed endings were final, but endings answer to authors greater than the characters inside them. The author has chosen to add pages, and those pages are thick with outcomes that prefer your name. A door that was supposed to slam will slow like a heavy swing in a quiet church. You did not break when they drafted the departure, and your unbrokenness will become the headline. People will repeat it in rooms where you never sat, and they will say your steadiness looks like a monument. The monument is already catching morning light that did not reach it before. Your gifts gather in corners you forgot you owned, and they whisper about fresh beginnings that rush like sunrise. The air will taste cleaner because certain stories no longer smoke inside your lungs. You will feel taller because the roof that held you low is dissolving. Comment victory to expand the space around you. In the next 24 hours, the hidden conversation becomes a playback you can actually hear. The lines that were rehearsed for April 6 will not slip away as vapor because records exist in places ink never reaches. The record will make your courage click into place like a seatbelt before liftoff. You will notice how your heartbeat moves from anxious staccato to powerful rhythm. The rhythm will draw right people like a lighthouse that never begs ships to notice. They will notice because the glow will feel like home to eyes that have searched too long. The one who planned to end every tie did not account for the ties heaven tied. Heaven tied strands you could not see and braided your tomorrow with threads that refused to snap. The braid holds steady, and your steps become sure. Drop a comment I claim this so your path aligns with the swift current. On April 6, they wrote a note that said goodbye without saying the word, and it lives in a folder labeled normal. The folder will be opened, and the light that spills on it will change the meaning line by line. What was meant to diminish you will become a mirror that magnifies you. The mirror shows the truth that your value never lived inside their approval. The mirror shows that your voice is not a whisper but a bell that refuses to rust. The bell is ringing now, and echoes roll toward places you have not yet stood. A friend will place a hand on your shoulder in a way that steadies more than muscles. The gesture will confirm what your spirit already knows, that you were carried through nights that tried to thin you. You will hear yourself breathe and it will sound like a promise kept. Comment: I am protected to lock this frequency in. The plan of April 6th used the language of endings, but your life speaks the language of pivots. Pivots are not collapses, and turns can be art when guided by a patient hand. The patient hand rests on your back and steers you without forcing. A message you send will land with uncommon clarity. The response will arrive clean, without barbs or confusion, and the space after it will feel breathable. You will choose movement that respects your heart and respects your pace. There is a room where your name sits on a folder that glows faintly. The glow increases as belief increases, and belief increases as testimony piles up like neat stones along a path. You are walking that path and the stones feel warm from sunlight no one can turn off. Comment: new ERA if you feel the floor steady under your feet. The next 24 hours will reveal a clue disguised as an ordinary update. It may arrive as a photo, a receipt, a schedule line, or a slip of language that lands oddly. You will catch it because discernment sits alert behind your eyes like a watchman who never yawns. You will remember your posture and refuse to bend toward drama that begs for fuel. The drama will gasp without your attention and die without requiring your hands. Your peace becomes a firewall that makes chaos lose interest. Someone will attempt a small test to see if your boundaries still wobble. Your answer will be simple and final, and the room will feel larger after you speak. You will surprise yourself at how gently strength can present. Comment: strong and calm to stamp this boundary with grace. You are stepping into a corridor that was blocked by an old story. The story has emptied its meaning, and the corridor is now yours to walk without apology. You will not need a map because the floor lights up a step at a time. On April 6th, a choice was made against you, but a greater choice has now been made for you. The greater choice drafts protection, favor, and a path lined with opportunities that actually honor your time. Your time will no longer leak into places that do not feed your life. There will be evidence of return, but you will not worship returning. You will honor the return only if it honors the growth you carried through fire. Your soul will recognize genuine from convenience without a single stutter. Comment: forward only to bless the momentum you now carry. A name that felt like thunder will become only weather. The storm passes when it realizes it cannot move the mountain, and you are the mountain that remains. Your stillness will feel like music at last. You will receive insight at an odd hour and write it down before it fades. The insight will sharpen your choices and simplify your plans, and simplicity makes power easier to hold. Power will sit lightly in your hands because it belongs with you. The people who almost believed in you will finish their belief. They will say your results silenced their doubt, and your consistency turned their heads. You will keep building because building keeps you lit from within. Comment: I keep building to confirm your daily rhythm. A quiet celebration is approaching, and it will not need confetti to be real. It will look like sleeping peacefully and waking without panic, and it will taste like water after a long run. Your body will recognize the relief and release what it has clutched too long. On April 6th, they trusted a map that did not include your sunrise. The new map covers ground they refused to see, and your horizon stretches like silk across a wide table. You are invited to sit where you once stood waiting by the door. A mentor will appear as if from behind a thin curtain. The advice will be precise and kind, like a seamstress who knows exactly where to take in a garment. Your life will fit you better after this adjustment and your shoulders will relax. Comment guided so the right helpers recognize your signal. You are no longer the version of you who needed a certain apology. You have grown taller than the sentence that never arrived, and your oxygen does not come from their admission. You breathe freely because truth keeps your lungs full. The hours ahead contain a hinge that will not squeak. It will turn with quiet assurance, and you will know the door is yours by how easily it opens. You will walk through because standing still would feel like wearing someone else's shoes. There is a ledger where losses once piled and it now records gains with honest ink. The numbers prefer you and the totals refuse to lie. Your effort was not wasted because the soil remembers every seed. Comment abundance flows to welcome this ledger into your home. Voices that once held you small will shrink to their true size. You will hear how ordinary they sound when your confidence returns to its correct volume. The adjustment will feel merciful rather than violent. You will notice signs of alignment in places that used to exhaust you. Coffee will taste normal again, and work will hum instead of grind. Friends will sound like support instead of noise. In the next 24 hours, your patience will cash a check it wrote months ago. The deposit clears in ways you can observe, not just imagine. You will smile without forcing and move without dragging. Comment paid in full to echo this receipt back to the universe. You will handle your name carefully and refuse to let careless hands hold it. The refusal will not be angry, it will be accurate. Accuracy will save you hours and rescue you from detours. The person who prepared to end every tie did not calculate your upgrade. The upgrade arrived while they were busy rehearsing exits, and the new you does not fit in their old plan. You will not shrink to make old calculations right. Your future speaks clearly and calls you by the name you almost forgot. You hear it and straighten because dignity is fluent in your body. You walk with a rhythm that makes distraction stumble. Comment dignity to stamp your steps with clarity. An opportunity will invite you to step into a room with better air. The oxygen there will make ideas move like birds that remember how to fly. You will pick one and it will land in your hands without panic. April 6th will not haunt you because it has been turned into a classroom rather than a prison. The lesson was never that you were unworthy, the lesson was that your worth does not wobble when someone wobbles near you. You pass the lesson and leave with a certificate no one can revoke. You will feel a clean boundary wrap your life like a fence that frames a garden. The fence is not a wall, it is wisdom. Wisdom lets love in without letting chaos set up camp. Comment wisdom to fortify this garden. A reunion may circle you, but you will choose only what aligns. Alignment is a calm yes or a gentle no, never a noisy maybe. You will choose with grace and sleep like someone who trusts sunrise. Your table will hold the right voices and the right stories. The wrong echoes will fade like old radio static that finally loses power. The silence that remains will feel like velvet, not like emptiness. You will remember your joy without needing an audience. Joy will bloom in private first and then spill naturally where it should. The spill will not stain, it will beautify. Comment joy restored to welcome its steady return. A path once crowded by fear is now lit by informed peace. Informed peace is not naive, it remembers every fact but chooses the road anyway. You are choosing, and your choice is blessed. The April 6th script tried to lock you out, but the key was already copied. The copy rests in your pocket, and your hand knows its shape by heart. You open the door and the room recognizes its owner. Your value no longer negotiates with indecision. Your day no longer pauses for someone who paused you. Your night no longer hosts storms that do not pay rent. Comment owner of my peace to hold this line. A message about reconciliation may arrive, and you will read it with a steady ribcage. Steady does not mean stubborn, it means centered. You will decide with love for yourself, which is a love that honors all. Archangel Michael says, the evidence is collected and the verdict is favor. Favor is not loud, but it is undeniable. It arrives like a sunrise that never asks permission. You will put your hand on your chest and feel the rhythm of someone who made it through. The rhythm will teach your feet a new step that fits the future you kept alive. That future loves the way you speak to yourself now. Your home will feel safer because your choices align with your values. Safety is a sound, and your walls will learn it and hum it back to you. What enters will match the tone you have set. Comment home is blessed to harmonize your space. A creative spark will land and ask for a small action today, not tomorrow. You will give it 30 honest minutes and watch it multiply. Multiplication follows honesty like a devoted friend. A door will close gently behind you and stay closed without drama. You will not pound on it because your hands prefer building. The build will attract what belongs and repel what does not. You will recognize the sacred difference between silence and avoidance. Your silence will be rooted in strength, not fear. It will speak for you without a single word. Comment silent and strong to anchor this maturity. The noise around April 6th will finally fade to a date on a calendar, and your life will not orbit it. Your orbit has moved to a brighter center where gratitude hangs like constellations. You can read those constellations without straining. You will forgive without forgetting the lesson, and the lesson will keep you wise. Wisdom will keep you soft without making you weak. You will stand where grace and clarity hold hands. Archangel Michael says, the ties that were meant to break have been reforged with truth, and the ties that harmed you have been gently cut. Your next 24 hours will confirm this with scenes you cannot miss. Walk forward, my beloved child, because the path is open and the light is already on. Comment subscribe for blessings to stay connected, share this message with someone who needs courage today, and keep your notifications on so you never miss your guidance. Archangel Michael says, my beloved child, keep your breath even because the second veil is sliding aside right now. The script that tried to erase you is unraveling like a ribbon that can no longer hold a box shut. The next 24 hours are already writing new lines that favor your name. The calendar that marked April 6th as an ending now trembles like paper near a flame. Behind that date sits a sequence of small acts that thought they were invisible. Those acts are stepping into light that does not blink. A quiet corridor in your story widens and reveals an office made of decisions rather than walls. On the desk lies a folder whose glow is not dramatic yet it refuses to dim. Your name is pressed into its tab like a seal that never learned how to crack. The folder opens and a clean breeze moves through your memory. You feel how your heartbeat begins to choose rhythm over noise. Relief starts to collect like dew on grass that survived the night. Type Amen 333 to seal this blessing and welcome the ease entering your path. The first page carries a simple line that reads pending. That word once held you hostage, and now it holds the door for you. You walk past it without apology because your time is sacred. Evidence begins to arrange itself without your hands touching it. A timestamp nods to your patience like a respectful guest. The flow is honest and the truth does not stumble. Comment I rise now to anchor this turn in your timeline. The next 24 hours move like a train that keeps perfect time. Each stop releases a scene you need to witness and then leave behind. You travel light because heavy stories are not your luggage anymore. A name that once sounded like thunder now sounds like ordinary weather. You no longer build shelters for storms that pass in a minute. You choose windows that let in the right light. Comment protected to keep your space clean and calm. You notice the difference between attention and obsession. Attention serves your growth like clear water, while obsession starves it like dust. You choose water and feel your voice glow inside your chest. April 6th is still a date on a page, but it no longer owns a room in your house. You have reclaimed those keys and changed the locks with quiet dignity. Peace answers the door and speaks for you. Comment forward only to bless the motion you now carry. A message arrives with a tone that respects your oxygen. The syllables land without hooks and your ribs stay steady. You respond from clarity rather than hunger, and the ground under your feet agrees. Your boundaries fit like a tailored jacket that moves when you move. There is no stiffness and no fear because the fabric remembers your shape. You stand, and the room reshapes itself around your stance. Comment strong and calm to stamp your line with grace. Somewhere a conversation pauses because truth entered the chat. The air cools and the old script loses its place. You do not perform to rescue a plot you did not write. Your work begins to hum instead of grind. Results stack in a quiet column that cannot be argued with. You nod at the column and return to building. Comment I keep building to affirm your daily rhythm. A mentor's sentence, short and precise, slides into your day like a needle that knows where the seam sits. One adjustment and the garment of your plan fits your shoulders without pulling. You breathe easier and your step becomes musical. The mirror you hold is truthful without cruelty. It shows a face that learned resilience without becoming stone. Soft strength suits you better than armor made of noise. Comment dignity to bless your reflection with clarity. In the background, what was planned on April 6th begins to fold itself up. The exit rehearsal dissolves like chalk in rain. The chalk leaves no stain because the ground chose green over gray. A small sign appears in an ordinary moment and your discernment catches it. The sign is not loud, yet it is precise like a compass in a still hand. You pivot half a degree and that half degree saves you miles. Comment guided so the right helpers can find your signal. The friend who understands silence as care steps closer. There are no heavy speeches, only presence that warms like sunlight on a winter railing. You lean into the moment and feel balance return to your body. Your phone lights up at an odd hour and an idea lands intact. You give it honest minutes and it multiplies without strain. The new branch of your future grows in clean lines. Comment new ERA to welcome the blueprint arriving now. You bless the version of yourself that carried pain without naming it. Gratitude moves through you like fresh wind and you taste relief on your tongue. Relief is not drama, relief is design. An invitation appears that used to make your knees shake. Today it reads like a choice rather than a test. You choose an alignment and alignment increases your daylight. Comment chosen and ready to affirm your yes that matches your purpose. A door behind you closes without echo. The handle cools and refuses to heat no matter how memory tries to rub it. You walk on because your shoes prefer forward roads. The ledger that once recorded losses now lists returns with clear ink. Each line item feels earned rather than accidental. The total speaks quietly and you trust it. Comment abundance flows to welcome rightful increase. Your sleep grows deep and your mornings arrive without panic. You taste normal again and normal feels like power. You drink water and the water tastes like a promise kept. Your name no longer negotiates with confusion. Confusion steps back because certainty has taken the center chair. You protect the chair like a sacred flame. Comment owner of my peace to keep the chair occupied by calm. Across town, someone replays choices and understands the cost without you explaining. Understanding arrives late but it arrives with its shoes off. You do not host regret because your house is booked for joy. Joy blooms private first and then spills where it should. The spill does not stain, it beautifies the floor you walk. Every step becomes a small celebration that asks for no applause. Comment joy restored to keep the bloom steady. A paper trail that tried to hide now highlights itself. You see the line where intention parted from integrity. You choose integrity and the path widens. The voice memo that once made your chest tighten now sounds distant and small. You listen without shrinking and then you put it away. Your day deserves better audio and you curate it. Comment clear frequency to tune your hours to truth. Your calendar gains one new block labeled sacred work. The block is not heavy, it is bright. Inside it you move with focus that feels like kindness. A text labeled reconciliation may arrive with careful punctuation. You read with a steady ribcage and answer with a clean heart. The answer protects your growth and respects your rest. Comment centered to hold the line between compassion and clarity. A favorite place begins to feel different because you entered it as the new you. Light sits better on your shoulders and strangers recognize the glow without knowing your story. The atmosphere arranges itself around your wellness. You notice how the future stops whispering and starts speaking clearly. The message is not dramatic, it is dependable. Dependable is the rhythm your life deserves. Comment dependable blessings to echo that rhythm. The April 6th echo fades to a soft date, useful for learning and nothing more. The lesson carved a wiser path through your week. You walk it with a stride that saves time and spends energy well. Your inner room stays swept without effort because you love how order feels. Order is not control, order is care. Care invites miracles that respect your schedule. Comment order and ease to keep the atmosphere gentle. A door ahead opens with a latch that recognizes your touch. The room beyond is not crowded and the air moves freely. You step in and the floor welcomes your weight. You realize you no longer chase closure from places that cannot provide it. Closure came from truth and truth lives with you now. You thank it and continue. Comment thank you truth to honor the keeper of your peace. A call arrives that acknowledges your value without discount codes. You accept with a smile that fits your face. The agreement is simple and the terms respect your time. You place your phone down and your hands prefer building. The build continues in clean lines that match your breath. Your life hums like a workshop where the lights always work. Comment I continue to affirm your momentum. Archangel Michael says, the record stands and the verdict remains favor. The path is lit enough for the next step and the next step is exactly enough. Walk it, my beloved child, and let your calm be the loudest thing in the room. Your tomorrow begins inside the way you speak to yourself today. You speak with care that strengthens bone. Bone remembers and supports you without fail. Share this message with someone who needs steady light right now. Subscribe and stay close so you never miss your guidance and your daily uplift. Keep your notifications on because the next confirmation will arrive in perfect time.